Hey you guys, welcome to another video. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you're new to my channel, my name is Ani, and guess what? We finally got a good rain since 9 p.m. last night. I'm like so excited. Yeah, it's cloudy, kind of like brings you down a little bit, but I'm just happy my plants finally got a good drink of natural water. So happy. Anyway, so if you haven't guessed it already, today's video is going to be, which you already know because you read my title. That's why you clicked on this video. I'm going to tell you about all the books that are popular on BookTube that I have not read yet. Why? I don't know. Let's find out. First book I have here is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. Of course, this is an author I have read before and I really enjoy her writing. However, I have not read this book yet. Why? I have no idea. I should have already, right? So I recently hauled this book, so you will find the video in the description below or up here. The book is about a young woman who kind of makes like deal with the devil kind of thing to live forever. And the only downside to it is that everyone she will come across will not know who she is or her name. However, years and years later, I believe maybe like 300 years later, something like that, in a bookstore, a boy actually recognizes her and remembers her name. A book that has been going around BookTube for a while now, and for some reason, I skipped it. I think the reason was mainly because my library did not always have it because it's such a popular book, and yeah, therefore I couldn't get my hands on it. So I decided, you know what, I'll just go ahead and buy the book, and yes, so now I have it, and there's no more excuse for me to read it. I'm actually really excited to read the book. The next book that I have not read, and it's very popular on BookTube, is The Seventh Husband of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. And of course, she is a pretty famous writer, at least on BookTube for sure. Her another book is called Daisy Jones and the Six, or Malibu Rising, which also books that I have not read. Again, why? I don't know. I just have not. So, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo is about a Hollywood starlet and this rookie young reporter that's trying to write a story about Evelyn Hugo, of course. I've also heard people say that this mimic Elizabeth Taylor's actual story, so we don't know. I guess we'll find out when I read the book. And once again, this is a book I actually recently acquired, and I will leave the book haul link in the description below or up here. Okay, so the next book that I have not read that I see on BookTube is Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. So the book takes place, I believe, in South Carolina or North Carolina, something like that, and it's about a young woman who has been abandoned by her family, and she pretty much like took care of herself. And the book will portray her, the long-lasting damage of abandonment in a person or how it affects person's relationship or future relationship. So I have heard people say like this is a very controversial book, and some even said that this is from a true story. I've also heard people say that they don't want to read anything by this author because Delia Owens have been connected to some sort of killing back in the day that's been like under investigation, and although she has not been charged or something like that, and some people say that this book could be like related to like the story, maybe somehow related to that. I'm not sure. Don't hold me accountable for it. You can go search it for yourself. But we're not here for that. We're here for books that I have not read that's very popular on BookTube. So this was one of those books. If you watch my channel, you already know that I have been binging Emily Henry's books recently. And the only one I have not read, of course, is People We Meet on Vacation. People We Meet on Vacation is about two best friends from college, Poppy and Alex. They go on summer vacation each year, and one summer something happens and they stop talking to each other for 2 years. So Poppy's idea is to convince Alex to go on one last summer trip so she can fix the problem, whatever that is, and we're gonna find out. I've actually just recently hauled this book, so you already know if you watch my channel. Again, the link will be in the description below. So yeah, I'm actually planning on reading this book fairly soon, even though summer is almost over. I don't think I can wait until next year, so yeah, this is gonna happen. I'm definitely gonna be reading this pretty soon. The next book is Guest List by Lucy Foley, and another book I've been going around that I haven't read yet. And it is about a ritzy wedding on a Scottish island that has gone wrong because there were some murders taking place during the time of the event. Of course, it is a murder mystery book, which I absolutely love. I don't know why I didn't pick it up. I guess, once again, I was just reading a lot of other books, so put this one behind on the back burner, I guess. Another popular book on BookTube is The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna, and those of you who are familiar with BookTube, I'm sure you have come across her book at one point in time. She is the author of The Nightingale and Firefly Lane, which actually is a TV show on Netflix, which I actually absolutely loved. I have never even read a book by this author before. So this book I want to actually read because the story sounds really amazing. It's about a young woman named Elsa who lives in the Dust Bowl with her in-laws and her drunk husband and her children. So of course she's going to have to make some hard choices for the sake of her kids. Of course this book is going to be about surviving mentally, physically, emotionally. So it's sounded really good to me. I was not interested in reading Kristen Hanna's other books in the past, like The Nightingale. So this book, actually, I'm interested in reading, so hopefully I can get my hands on it soon. Another very popular book on BookTube that's actually been out for a while, it is called The Red, White, and Royal Blue. This book is about the first son of the United States, which is the president's son, his romantic relationship with Prince Henry, who is the British prince. And it's been out for a while, and I've seen go around BookTube for so long, but I have never picked it up. At the time, I was seeing it go around, but I guess it didn't, gravitate that much for me to pick it up. Or I was just distracted by some other books. So yeah, it's been a while. Another book made it to my list is Normal People by Sally Rooney. Yes, I know, don't judge me. I just haven't gotten to it. I plan on reading it, but I haven't gotten to it. From my understanding, this book is about two people, struggling with life. And I think this book is about mental health and, friendship and love. So all of those things I really enjoy, and I definitely enjoy books that emphasize mental health issues. So this is something I should have read a while ago, but I do plan on reading it. I don't know when I'm going to get to it, but worry not, I plan on reading it. Another book I haven't read is Legendborn by Tracy Dean. Is that how you pronounce the last name? I apologize if I'm pronouncing it wrong. I have not read it, and I've been actually meaning to read this for a while. And like I said, when it's a popular book on BookTube, it tends to be like on a very long wait on your library. So that's probably why I haven't read it. So it is about a 16-year-old girl who discovers her supernatural magical abilities after her mother's death at the school or boarding school she's attending. I always, of course, love anything that has to do with magic, fantasy books. So this is something is on my TBR list. So I know I will be getting to it pretty soon, probably next year, but it did make it to my list of popular books that I haven't read yet. Another popular book that I have come across on BookTube is These Violent Delights, and it's by Chloe Young. This book is just, first of all, the cover is just so beautiful, and it is retelling of Romeo and Juliet story. What can be more satisfying than that? I mean, I love Romeo and Juliet stories. Of course, who doesn't? And those forbidden love stories are like always my jam. So I'm like looking forward to reading this book. And if I'm not incorrect, I believe this book is based in China. I could be wrong, but anyway, it just sounded so good. I absolutely loved the idea of the story, the premise, of course, the cover is another thing, just gravitated me, and I'm like a sucker for pretty covers, so this is definitely pretty. Then I have Verity by Colin Hoover, which is actually a pretty new book that's been going around BookTube. So the book is about a struggling author, of course, in need of money, and is hired by this author's husband, because the author is unable to finish a book she was writing because of an injury. I've heard people rave about this book. Once again, most of Colin Hoover's books, so I'm actually interested in checking it out, just like I was interested in checking out It Ends With Us. So I will definitely be reading this book fairly soon. The very last book on my list for this video is 1984 by George Orwell. Of course, it's a classic and something, everyone tells you to read, but I planned on reading it a long time ago anyway, just haven't got to it yet. So the book is of course set in 1984, and it is about, the idea is that what if we had a government system that is totally based off of dictatorship? We didn't win World War II What do you think would happen? Very, of course, political, and once in a while I enjoy reading stuff like that. And of course, this book is a classic. That's another reason I plan on reading it for sure. I will be reading it in my lifetime for sure. Well, that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Give it a like if you did. Leave me comments down below. And as always, subscribe to my channel. And also hit that bell button so you don't miss any videos I upload in the future. I hope to see you again soon. Until next time, take care.